At the time of making this video, this story is still evolving, and the official investigation report has yet to be released. A passenger aircraft with 379 people on board collides with another aircraft on a runway while attempting to land at Haneda Airport in Tokyo. This event marks the first serious incident involving an A350 and the first hull loss of this type since its introduction in 2015. Examining news reports and transcripts released by Japanese authorities, we delve into the details of this incident. Japan Airlines Flight JL516, an Airbus A350 aircraft, is a domestic passenger flight from Shinchitose Airport near Sapporo, Japan to Haneda Airport in Tokyo. The plane is carrying 367 passengers and 12 crew members. On the ground, the Japan Coast Guard DHC-8 is preparing to transport supplies to Niigata in response to the Noto Peninsula earthquake which happened on the previous day, January 1, 2024.
Tokyo Tower Japan Air 516 Spot 18
Japan Air 516 Tokyo Tower Good Evening Runway 34 Right Continue Approach Wind 320 at 7 knots. We have departure.
Japan Air 516 Continue Approach 34 Right.
Japan Air 516 Runway 34 Right Clear to Land Wind 310 at 8 knots.
Clear to Land Runway 34 Right, Japan Air 516.
Tower 722 Alpha Charlie.
722 Alpha Tokyo Tower Good Evening. Number 1, Taxi to Holding Point Charlie 5.
Taxi to Holding Point Charlie 5 722 Alpha Number 1, thank you.
Now, let's look at where the location of Charlie 5 was, where JA722A was supposed to hold short. But for some reason, the aircraft proceeds to runway 34R. It stays on the runway for about 40 seconds before the collision occurs. According to the passengers, they felt a boom, as if they had hit something and jerked upward the moment they landed. Sparks were outside the window, and the cabin filled with gas and smoke. After the collision, both the public announcement and intercom systems were inoperative, compelling the crew to use megaphones to communicate with the passengers. The burning passenger aircraft then came to a stop several hundred meters away from the collision point. All large commercial aircraft are required to demonstrate by analysis, partial or full-scale test that they can be evacuated within 90 seconds with half the exits unavailable. In the case of Japan Airlines A350, only 3 of the 8 slides were deployed due to the dangerous conditions around the remaining exits. In addition, the economy class, which has the majority of passengers, only has 1 escape slide deployed at the rear. The airline reported that the last crew member left the A350 approximately 18 minutes after the initial crash, though it is unclear when the evacuation was initiated following the accident. Crucially, passengers left their hand luggage behind on the plane. While it's an often repeated safety requirement in case of evacuation, past disasters have shown that some people tend to reach for their personal belongings while fleeing. All passengers and crew survived with only 15 minor injuries, but 5 out of the 6 crew members on board the Dash 8 died in the collision. Fire services eventually left the aircraft to burn out given there was no longer a risk to life, a procedure called defensive mode to maintain the safety of the firefighters. By Wednesday morning, the Airbus A350 reduced to a charred carcass, with both wings remaining largely intact. A few hundred feet down the runway, the other Japan Coast Guard plane lay destroyed beyond recognition. According to sources, the surviving pilot of the Japan Coast Guard, who sustained serious injuries, asserted that he had entered the runway after receiving permission from air traffic controllers. He had also obtained clearance for takeoff. However, the transcript of radio communication released by the authorities showed such permission given to the Coast Guard plane did not exist.